Happy holiday eve, everyone.
Well,
While everyone else is out there caroling, we are diving into the world of large language models.
the perfect holiday activity.
Right. So you sent over this research paper, Scope, Optimizing Key Value Cache Compression in Long Context Generation.
Oh, yeah,
It's a mouthful.
I know.
It is.
But the concepts are really cool.
Yeah, Scope is really interesting. It tackles a core challenge in the field.
Okay, so let's lay out kind of the mission for our deep dive today.
Right.
So we are going to explore how LLMs handle memory,
Okay.
especially when they're dealing with these massive chunks of text, right?
Right.
And then we'll get into how Scope optimizes that memory management to
Yeah.
make these models even more powerful and efficient. So ready to unpack this.
Absolutely. Let's start with a fundamental element of LLM memory, and that is the key value cache, or KV cache.
Okay, KV cache sounds mysterious.
Yeah.
Break it down for us.
So think of it this way. It's like a dynamic scratch pad that the LLM uses while it's processing text.
Yeah. It's not just storage. It actively manages which information needs to be readily accessible.
Okay.
But just like your short-term memory when you're reading a long article, it has limits.
Oh, so just like I can't hold an entire novel in my head at once, the
Exactly.
KV cache can get overloaded.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's where the two phases of LLM processing come in.
Okay.
Prefill and decoding.
Prefill and decoding. Okay, walk us through those.
Okay. So during prefill, the LLM is taking in the input text.
Mhm.
It's like absorbing the details of a dense report.
Gotcha.
And it's essentially jotting down key points in that KV cache.
So prefill is that initial read through when you're trying to just grasp the main ideas.
Yeah.
What about decoding?
So decoding is where the LLM generates its output,
Okay.
whether that's a summary or an answer to your question or even a creative piece of writing.
Okay.
And it uses the information that is stored in the KV cache to make sure the output is relevant and coherent.
Got it. So prefill is input, decoding is output. And I'm starting to see where those memory limitations could really become a bottleneck,
Yeah,
especially with these massive LLMs handling huge amounts of data.
exactly. As the text gets longer, that KV cache fills up fast,
Right.
and this can lead to slower processing
Uh-huh.
and potentially inaccurate outputs, particularly when both the input and output are lengthy.
Okay.
So you can imagine like trying to write a detailed essay based only on a hazy recollection
Right.
of the source material.
You'd miss crucial details.
Yeah, you would definitely miss
We
things.
don't want that.
No.
So before Scope came along, what were some of the existing solutions for managing this LLM memory?
So there were two main approaches.
Okay.
One was prefill-only compression, which focused solely on shrinking the information stored during that prefill phase.
Gotcha.
So techniques like quantization were used to essentially reduce the resolution of the information stored.
So making the notes on the scratch pad smaller, but
Yeah.
potentially
Yeah.
losing some detail.
Exactly, like compressing an image.
Okay. What was the other approach?
The other approach was unified compression.
Okay.
And this one attempted to compress memory across both the prefill and the decoding phases.
Mm-hmm.
However, these methods often prioritized recent information,
Oh,
like remembering the last few sentences you read, but forgetting the start of the paragraph.
so like having a short attention span.
Kind of, yeah.
But for tasks that need you to really understand all that context, remembering the entire input is crucial.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's where Scope seems to break new ground.
Exactly.
Okay.
Scope introduces this fresh perspective by treating the prefill and decoding phases separately
Okay.
for memory optimization.
Interesting. So it's like having different mental folders
Yeah.
for that initial input versus your evolving thoughts as you're processing that information.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Okay, tell me more about how Scope actually works its magic.
Okay, so Scope uses a few clever strategies to achieve this separate optimization.
Okay.
One is called the slide strategy.
Slide strategy.
Yeah, so imagine you're reading a lengthy document
Uh-huh.
and you have this limited window of focus, right?
Okay.
Scope essentially creates like a moving highlight reel
Okay.
that keeps the most relevant information
Okay.
within that window
Yeah.
as you progress through the text.
So instead of trying to remember everything, it's focusing on the parts that are most likely to be needed
Right.
during that decoding phase.
Exactly.
That seems incredibly efficient.
It is. It allows Scope to prioritize without constantly reevaluating the entire input.
Okay, but what happens when the task at hand requires a broader or narrower context?
That's a great point.
Right. Some tasks might need more information readily available.
Yeah, that's where the adaptive strategy comes in.
Oh, adaptive strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So SOAP can dynamically adjust the size of this focus window
Interesting.
depending on the demands of the task.
Uh-huh.
So if the output needs to be long and complex,
Okay.
the window expands.
Gotcha.
If it's a short answer, the window shrinks, saving precious memory resources.
So it's like Scope has a built-in intelligence to allocate memory
Yeah,
based on what it needs for that specific task.
exactly.
That's pretty wild. What else does it have up its sleeve?
Well, to avoid constantly reevaluating what information to keep in focus,
Uh-huh.
SCOPE utilizes a discontinuous strategy.
Discontinuous.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes these adjustments in chunks
Okay.
rather than at every single step.
So it's not constantly second-guessing itself. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to commit to this focus for a while,
Exactly.
and then we'll reevaluate when necessary.
Yeah,
That sounds like a really smart way to conserve processing power.
precisely. It makes the whole process more efficient.
Okay.
And by combining these three strategies,
Yeah.
SCOPE can really excel at memory management, even when dealing with those massive amounts of text we talked about.
Okay, so Scope sounds incredibly clever,
Yeah.
like on paper.
It is.
But how does it actually perform in practice? What kind of results do the researchers see?
So the results are really impressive.
Okay.
SCOPE achieved near-perfect accuracy
Wow.
on several tasks, even with a 35% reduction
That's huge.
in memory usage.
35%. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a significant improvement in efficiency without sacrificing performance.
That's like getting the same quality of work, but using way less brain power.
Right. Yeah.
I imagine this has huge implications, especially for those really complex reasoning tasks where remembering all that context is everything.
Absolutely. You're right. SCOPE consistently outperformed other compression methods on those tasks
Okay.
that require a deep understanding of the input.
So it really shines when it needs to.
Yeah.
And here's the best part. It's flexible enough to be integrated with other prefill compression techniques. Oh, so you can stack those efficiency gains.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like Scope is a real game changer in the world of LLMs.
It really is. It represents a significant step forward. And what I think is really fascinating is that SCOPE highlights a broader principle that we could apply.
Oh, I love when we get to these
Yeah.
big picture takeaways.
Yeah.
Tell me more. What's the deeper lesson here?
So SCOPE exemplifies the power of what we call separate optimization.
Separate optimization.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of seeking a one-size-fits-all solution,
Yeah.
it breaks down a complex problem into its core components
Mm-hmm.
and addresses each with a tailored approach.
So instead of trying to tackle everything at once,
Yeah,
you're strategically dividing and conquering.
exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
By separating the pre-fill and decoding phases,
Yeah.
SCOPE was able to develop strategies that were perfectly suited
Yeah.
to the unique memory demands of each stage.
It's like cleaning your house. You wouldn't try to like scrub the bathroom and dust the furniture and vacuum the carpets all at the same time.
That's a great analogy.
Right, you would tackle each of those things separately to be the most efficient.
Exactly. And this separate optimization principle could have applications in a wide range of fields.
Oh, wow.
Like imagine optimizing traffic flow in a city
Yeah.
or streamlining a complex business process.
So Scope's impact could extend way beyond just LLMs.
Absolutely.
It's giving us a whole new framework for approaching complex problems.
Yeah, it is.
But let's bring it back to the world of AI for a second.
Okay.
How could Scope's success shape the future of LLMs in practical terms?
Well, SCOPE's ability to, dramatically improve that memory efficiency
Yeah.
could lead to LLMs that are more accessible
Okay.
and affordable.
Interesting.
Because right now, the computational demands of these models
Yeah.
are a huge barrier for
Yeah.
smaller organizations or researchers.
So Scope could help democratize access to this powerful technology.
Exactly.
Put it in the hands of more people.
Yeah. Imagine startups, educational institutions, even individual developers
Wow.
being able to leverage the power of LLMs without needing massive computing resources.
That opens up a world of possibilities for innovation.
It does.
What kind of new applications could we see with this wider access to LLMs?
Well, you can think about LLMs that can analyze vast libraries of scientific literature to uncover hidden connections
Yeah.
or generate comprehensive summaries of dense legal documents.
Oh.
Or imagine AI assistants
Right.
capable of engaging in truly nuanced conversations,
Oh.
drawing on a wealth of knowledge to provide insightful responses.
It's like giving these LLMs superpowers.
Right.
But with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Absolutely.
We need to consider the ethical implications of these advancements as well.
Yeah, as these models become more sophisticated,
Uh-huh.
we need to ensure that they are developed and deployed responsibly.
Right. It's not just about making them smarter.
Right.
It's about making sure that they are used ethically and for the benefit of society as a whole.
Exactly.
So it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Pushing the boundaries of what's technically possible, but also always considering
Yeah,
that broader societal impact.
it is.
And scope seems to be a step in the right direction.
I think so.
Not just for its technical brilliance, but also because it prompts these important conversations about responsible AI development.
It does.
This has been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gone from the intricacies of LLM memory to the potential impact of scope
It has been a journey.
on the future of AI.
Yeah.
What stands out to you as the most significant takeaway from all of this?
For me, I think it's the power of creative problem solving.
Yeah.
Scope demonstrates that by carefully analyzing the specifics of a challenge
What?
and thinking outside those conventional approaches, we can achieve breakthroughs that have far-reaching implications.
Well said. Scope isn't just a technical achievement.
Right.
It's a testament to human ingenuity
Yeah.
and the potential for innovation. We combine that technical prowess with a sense of responsibility.
It is.
It's a reminder that while we continue to marvel at the capabilities of AI, we must never lose sight of that human element. Our values, our ethics, and our commitment to using these powerful tools for good.
I agree.
That's a perfect note to end on.
It is.
To our listeners out there, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of AI, to ask questions, and to engage in these crucial conversations about the responsible development and deployment of these incredible technologies.
Absolutely.
Until next time,
Yeah.
happy holidays and keep those minds curious.